Richard Wilson, and welcome to the short business training video module on how to gain the respect of your team. If you're a new business manager, if you're managing a small business, if you have new people joining your team as a manager, it can be hard to get people kind of on your side, seeing things as you see things, kind of agreeing with you and working with you enough so you can be productive. You don't want a whole bunch of yes men on your team or yes people that just agree with everything you say, but you have to have some sort of culture and agreement that you're all here working on the same team to get things done for the business. So here are some tips on how to do that. First, work with them, work alongside them sometimes, help them with projects, act as a resource to them. Make sure that you see yourself at the bottom of the pyramid, supporting everybody on your team, and not at the top looking down at them and saying, why aren't you working more? What are you doing? Work faster. Make sure you're a resource to them and you're enabling them and not disabling them with criticism or looking down upon them as lower people because you're the manager and you have the power and they don't. Another tip is to make sure and really get your hands dirty in the dirtiest part of your business. Sometimes there'll be parts of your business where it can seem like you're above doing that type of work, but once or twice a year getting down and actually doing the work that you're assigning to other people can show them that you don't think that this work is for menial workers or it's for low-level people, that it's really important to the quality of your business. And by you getting down there and doing a really good job at it right next to them, you can kind of prove to them that it is really important work for them to take seriously. But then also maybe you remember some best practices and you can kind of show them what you remember when you were working in that area, or they could show you new things that they've learned and you can help train the whole team on how they're doing things. So that can be a really useful tip on getting people to actually accept you as their business manager. The next tip is to talk about their long-term goals. It could be their long-term career goals, their business goals, their compensation goals, and kind of align how you manage them to fit those goals. The trick here is to be entirely honest while doing your best job to address them. I've had it happen before while managing people that when you ask them for their goals, they say, I don't have any, I've never thought about it before. That's actually really common. Lots of people get out of college from a 4-year degree and never once write a career plan. Oftentimes you might ask someone this question, they might only say, I want to make $80,000 a year. That's my only goal, I really don't care how. That's pretty common. Another thing that can come out is that they want to do things that have nothing to do with their current job or your department. That can be very challenging, so you might have to show them how if they move up within your business department, you could recommend them for another area, and the skills here would transfer to that next area they want to work in. Another trick I've learned is that if you explain to people, if your team's relatively flexible and their workloads can be shifted back and forth, one thing I try to do for people I'm managing is tell them if they really enjoy doing something, I'll try to make sure that's 30, 40, 50% of your job description. If you really dislike doing something or hate doing something, I'll do my best to assign it to other people, or at worst, it'll be 20% of your job description. So it could be out of an 8-hour day, you might have to spend an hour and a half working on that type of project, but the rest of the day, you'll be spending time on things you enjoy more, you're more productive at, you focus more on your strengths. Really, you're going to have the most productive team if they're doing what they like most of the time, because people like things that come easily to them. They like things that typically are productive for them, that are fun for them. You always have some people that like the work that's really easy because they're lazy and they want to clock hours and get paid for doing nothing. But that goes back to some of our quick to fire advice that we mentioned in other videos. You just don't want those people on your team, period. So one last tip here is just that you just have to be careful when you ask people what their long-term career plans are. You have to be ready that in many cases it's going to be to leave your business or leave your company, and sometimes bringing up the conversation can be a catalyst for that. I think long-term overall it's worth bringing up because people will respect you, that you're caring about their career plans and helping them meet their career goals, and hopefully more often than not your company is the type of place where people want to stay and the benefits are great and the way they're treated is great and your culture is great and your business vision is great and they'll want to stay with you long term. But I've had it in my own career. The first time I put together my career plan, I was working at a consulting firm. I'd been there for a couple of years, and by doing the career plan I realized I really didn't want to work there anymore. And so it didn't take very long, less than a year, and I was gone, not working there anymore, and working for a competing consulting firm, and then out of the consulting industry entirely, more towards capital raising and marketing at that time. So this can definitely happen. It's happened on my team as well. I've coached somebody, put together career plans, and they see that really what they want to do has nothing to do with what our business does. And that's okay. I think that overall it will work out and it won't backfire. And if it does constantly backfire, then you have to look at the way that employees are treated, the way employees are trained, the benefits they're given, the culture you have, your business environment, the atmosphere, just how enjoyable the work is you assign to them, and try to balance all those things so it's a better environment that's going to keep employees on your team more consistently long term. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to get your team behind you as a business manager so you gain their support. It can be really tricky and subjective. There's no hard and fast rules. There's no 3 circles strategy or the 2-step tool to get your team behind you. It's really quite difficult and it's different in every single situation. So I hope these tips can be applied to your current business management situation or current challenges you face. Thank you for joining us here today. It's businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to make more money.